Yes, people, welcome back to GNA TV. I hope you guys are well, wherever it is that you may be around the world. And wow, all I got to say is wow. So much happening at Chelsea in the last, say, day or two specifically. But it seems like things are starting to heat up. And it ain't even just to do from the player side of things. We're not even sitting here just focusing on players coming in. We've still got to focus on players coming out. But now we've just had news today that Bruce Buck is stepping down. Bruce Buck is stepping down as the chairman of Chelsea onto a senior executive role, which we're going to be discussing today as well. We're also going to be looking at Marina Granovskaia because the next big news that came after the Bruce Buck news today was Marina Granovskaia. And she is set up to leave Chelsea Football Club. And that was given out by Matt Law himself today in a tweet and an article, which we'll be going through as well. There is so much to talk about today. On top of that, Fabrizio Romano has just broke some news in regards to Raphinha. Raphinha potentially being linked to Chelsea as well. We're going to be talking about that. We're going to be refreshing our minds with Todd Boehly, not with just Todd Boehly, with Raheem Sterling as well. We're going to be talking about Todd Boehly because Todd Boehly has took some big steps, huge steps as the new owner of Chelsea Football Club. And it's loads to get into. And we will open them lines today. We will try and get them lines open once we've gone through all of the topics that we've got ahead of us today. But make sure that you're smashing that like button, guys. Get these likes up. We should be aiming to get over 100 likes now on GNA TV, on the road to 6K as well. Before we do anything else, though, you know what time it is. Let's cue that intro. Yes, people, welcome back to GNA TV. I hope you guys are well, wherever it is that you may be around the world. And as I just said now, so much going on in around Chelsea Football Club, specifically in the last sort of couple of days as well. Things starting to heat up. We are going to be going through everything right here. So make sure you get yourself comfortable. And please share on your socials. Please continue hitting that thumb as well. Let's get them likes up as quickly as possible. We have got a poll out as well currently at the moment. There is a poll out as we speak, and with this poll, let's have a quick look at it at the moment. Sorry, I just had a message, so I was like, who's that? With this poll, it was just a clear question for you guys. Are you happy Marina is leaving Chelsea? Now, at the moment, we're sitting with 57% of viewers saying yes. We've got 43% of viewers saying no. If you haven't voted, please vote. We will be changing this poll onto another poll a bit later in the show, which I'll be asking you another question as well. But big news in and around Chelsea, stuff that we need to delve into. Obviously, I want to say hello to everyone in the chat already. Over 45, nearly 50 of you guys here. Big up to every single one of you guys. Serve says, I'm glad Marina is leaving, but hopefully she stays till the end of the window. Well, that is it. That is the thing that we need to discuss. And Matt Law's given us a bit of an insight in that as well, which we'll be talking about. Texas Blue, big up to you. He's saying Boehly's finally flexing some muscle as well. Yeah, it looks like it. Ilias, nice to see you, brother. Hope you're well. He says, keep smashing them freaking likes. Come on, guys. Let's get these likes up. Football style. Nice to see you, brother. He's happy that Marina... he said he is very happy that Marina's leaving Chelsea, but I'm very concerned into our transfer targets like Koundé. Okay. I hear that. Mo, big up to you as well. Nice to see you in the house. Nice to see Ben Farewell, Mr. Wheezy in the house. Nice to see you, my man. Lots of juicy updates. Loads to go through today. Josh as well. Big up to my boy Josh in the house. CFC Blues. He says bye-bye to Marina. Robin, nice to see you. Says thank God. I'm worried about Todd Boehly taking charge of all transfers because he's like a banker/politician. Politician. These are things that we need to discuss, look over specifically. Declared says, big up to you as well. AK, nice to see you as well. 57% buns is what Josh is saying. He's not happy. He is not happy that Marina is leaving as well. James Doran, nice to see you in the house. He says, love the channel. Big up to you, my guy. Hope you're well. Bex, are you going to continue doing this on every stream to me? You're going to keep asking me about Neymar news when you know that Neymar is not coming to Chelsea. Stop this news. Stop it. Big up to everyone in there, though. Like I said, over 50 of you guys in here already. Big up, over 5 minutes in. And we're going to get straight into it because there is so much to delve into as well. Like, so much to get into. Oh, no. What is that? That ain't a wasp, is it? Oh, it's gone. Thank God for that. I thought it was a wasp coming in my window. I was like, no. Right. Big up to Andreas in the house as well. Nice to see you. I think Boehly will set up sporting director before 1st of July. Maybe even Mike Edwards is what he's saying. Big up to Matt in the house as well. Nice to see him. He's not happy, but we'll hear from your view. We'll hear from you guys soon, especially the panel, Josh, Matt, everyone's come in, declared later on in the show. We'll get their thoughts and opinions on Marina and co as well, and the news breaking on it as well. He says, I'm happy for her leaving, but the disrespect is uncalled for. She's the best at what she does. Good. You know, it's good to have different opinions. Let's say that. But we're going to start at Bruce Buck because waking up this morning, I was like, oh yeah, got ready, getting my breakfast ready, and all of a sudden my phone starts going mad. Bruce Buck is expected to take. Todd Boehly is expected to take over Chelsea's chairman after the club announced Bruce Buck will step down at the end of the month. And I was like, where did this come from? Because we haven't really had any sort of tier ones say much about this, you know, until Telegraph, Matt Law, whatever came out with it. There was no real an overview to say that this was going to happen, is what I'm trying to get at. You know, usually you get a build up to knowing that Bruce Buck's going to leave. There was talks about Marina Granovskaia leaving Chelsea, and, you know, that didn't shock me as much because we already knew that was in the air. But with Bruce Buck, it was very quiet. It was very like we just assumed that he was going to continue his role. Well, the Telegraph have brought out this article, and it basically says that he's going to step down. He's been in the job since Rowan Brown Richardson took over in 2003, and Todd Boehly is expected to take over as chairman after the club announced Bruce Buck will step down from the role. Bruce Buck has been chairman since 2003, but decided the time was right to stand down. Did he decide that the time was right to stand down, or was he forced out the door? Did Todd Boehly look at the whole setup? Maybe now he's had more time there. He could look at the wage structure. He could look at the personnel, the infrastructure. Did Todd Boehly in himself think, why do we need Bruce Buck? You know what I keep saying to you guys? What does he actually do other than supposedly become a marketing product because of his American connections, which is what we're being told of Bruce Buck? No. Like, I think Todd Boehly's looked and gone, look, I'm American, mate. I've got bigger connections than you. You're chairman. Don't need to be. You're not really doing anything other than sitting on your ass. Let me take over this position. You can drop down. Boehly has adopted a hands-on role over aspects of this since the takeover, and the expectation is now that he will take the title of the chairman as well. In a statement, Chelsea said, Chelsea Football Club today announced that Bruce Buck has served as chairman since 2003 and will be stepping down from his role, which will be effective from June the 30th, guys. He will continue to support the club as a senior advisor. Now, what does senior advisor mean? The only thing I can really think of when thinking about it is that obviously being a chairman, you have a lot of power. And maybe Todd Boehly didn't like him specifically having that power. And the switchover of Todd Boehly becoming chairman, I think is a good thing. I don't feel that there's no issue with that. But the understanding that we need to know is what is the if he's stepping down, what is the senior advisor level requirement? Like, what is it he does? What is it that he does? You know, does he just sit there and feed information into Boehly and Clear Lake Capital's ears about certain topics, certain things that happen in and around Chelsea Football Club? I just feel that he had this title as chairman, wasn't really doing much with it. Todd Boehly's looked at it and thought to himself, well, I can just be the chairman, you know, and do other things at the same time and have that name. I'll take that entitlement role off him and just give him a senior advisory role so that he can... let me shut this window for a second. A bit too bright, eh? There we go. Getting blinded. You know, he could still be a part of what we do here, but at a lower level. And I don't see that being too much of an issue, him being dropped a level down. Do you know what I mean? Because I don't really fully understand what he offered anyway, or what he was meant to be doing. So, it doesn't bother me. The senior advisor role will be interesting to understand what it is. I just think it's just more of a limited role in the club. So, being a chairman, you've got a lot more power. Being a senior advisor, an advisor is someone that advises you on certain parts of an issue of the club. So maybe he's responsible for um, overlooking certain parts of the way that Chelsea are run, and his role is to give advice to the likes of Boehly and Clearlake Capital about certain issues in and around Chelsea. How can we improve or not? An advisor, basically, not someone that actually specifically has the power to make the choices. And that is the thing I think Todd Boehly's done. I feel that Todd Boehly's taken away the power from Bruce Buck. I'm all down for that. I am completely all down for that. Big up to Matt, QNTV, Kazim in the house as well. AK, Dusty Rose, Thick Flair's in the house as well. Big up to you, my guy. So Timo Werner, nice to see you, brother. The whole club needs a change of direction in the off-field departments. Yeah, exactly. The club also grew its commercial revenue significantly, establishment world-class training facilities at Cobham, blah, 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 blah. Buck, as a trustee and chairman, helped establish the Chelsea FC Foundation, which supported a broad range of initiatives, including increasing access to youth athletics, hosting education and employment programs, and leading anti-discrimination campaigns. What is that got to do with Chelsea? No offense, not being horrible in any way. I want to know what you do for this football club. What was it that your role was as the chairman of the football club? I know you still have a face, and outside of football that you can use it because it's a powerful face. I get that, and I don't condone any of the things that he's done. Makes sense. But what else were you doing? Helped establish Chelsea FC Foundation. You helped establish, okay, doing what? Anyway, Bruce Buck said, I am proud to have helped Chelsea realise great success on the pitch and make positive impact in the community. Maybe he feels that he had a massive role in the community. Now it's the right time to step down and let new ownership build on the strong foundations we have in place. The owners have a compelling vision for Chelsea future, and I look forward to helping them achieve it in a new role alongside our incredible staff, players, coaches, and supporters. Bruce has led Chelsea's club to the highest level of international and domestic football, while also developing one of the most active social responsibilities. We thank Bruce for his services. So he hasn't gone. This is not like a farewell to Bruce Buck. This is, like I keep saying, I feel Todd Boehly just took control of the scenario and just said, this chairman name that you've got, entitlement that you've got, is not needed. We could still use you at the club as an advisor or as a senior advisor, along with the way that we're going to move forward with our new system or infrastructure. So, that's the news in and around Bruce Buck. He's just basically been dropped down. When I first saw it, I thought he was gone. I thought he was leaving. I was getting happy. I was like, yeah, no more Bruce Buck. He's gone. But then we found out he's got a senior advisor role, which kind of makes sense in a way. Timo Werner on LA Dodgers. I see that. I actually see that. I found that really funny as well. Big up to Newsflash in the house. Tricks. So nothing about Marina. We're going to get on to Marina next. Marina is the next topic we're going to go to. We've still got to talk about Raphinha. Some news that was broken around Raphinha at Chelsea as well. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. I know someone's just messaged me that as well. Matty, we are going to talk about that. Do not worry. That's coming soon as well. So there you go, guys. There's the news on Bruce Buck. But please make sure you continue smashing that like button as much as you can. Subscribe if you're new to GNA TV as well, because we're on the road to 6K subscribers, an ever-growing channel, a channel that seems to be going in the right direction, thanks to you guys and the viewers as well. Right, we did have a poll out. We had a poll out, and the question in the poll today was, are you happy that Marina is leaving Chelsea? A very simple question. So at the moment, we're sitting with yes at 57% and no at 43%. Now, I thought it would have been more yeses than nos. At the moment, it's just dropped again to 56-44. If you haven't voted, please vote above. Please vote above. The voting is going to end after we've finished the Marina topic, which is something that we're going to be going into next as well. But I want to get a real idea of, from you viewers, where your thoughts are on this Marina stance. Now, we got told the news in and around Bruce Buck. And now we have been, now we've had more breaking news And this one is around Marina Granovskaia, who's supposedly set to leave following Bruce Buck's exit as well. I say exit, but he's got more of a senior advisor role. This comment here or article here basically speaks on her leaving. And I've managed to get this article open. I managed to actually open this article, which I'm going to share with you guys now, which is hard to do because sometimes you have to pay for it. But I've got something that lets me read it without it. So this is an exclusive, which was obviously bought out by Matt Law. And Granovskaia was a major figure under previous owners, under Roman Abramovich, and led the club's transfer negotiations. Marina Granovskaia is set to become the next big exit at Chelsea. After the club confirmed Bruce Buck as well as a stand-down as chairman, Buck will go give up his role, which we already know about. And Granovskaia is also to follow and to basically follow suit with him. Should her departure be confirmed before the transfer window closes, this is what we're hearing here, as some sources believe is now likely to be the case. Boehly will not only take the chairmanship, but he will also take over the negotiations, which Marina Granovskaia has been in charge of during the reign of previous owner Roman Abramovich. Now, big question for you guys. And, I looked at the reaction on social media because I wanted to see how everyone felt about the initial news that was broke. And some people were very happy that Marina is going. Yay, it's great news. It's about time, blah, blah, blah. But then they found out that Todd Boehly was going to take over this summer window. Now, some Chelsea fans feel that Todd Boehly is not in a position to be able to negotiate. From what we understand at this point now, he's already doing that. And when I say that, you've only got to look at the Romelu Lukaku saga at the moment. Todd Boehly is at the forefront. Oh, wait a second. I'm just reading something else. Thank you, Matty. I'll use that as well. Some news coming in on this, what we're talking about as well. So I'll use that about a new DOF as well, which we'll get to in a second as well. Some people are worried about how Boehly's going to negotiate or how we're going to get targets. He's never done this before. Why would we give him the control? Someone that's never done this before. Someone that's still understanding his role at Chelsea. Now, it is, don't get me wrong, Boehly's really thrown himself in the deep end and he's really made a statement, if this is true, which yet we're still waiting for confirmation if she's going to go before the window or after, which is what we're waiting on. It's a big statement, especially in a summer period where we already know that we're going to need to make a number of signings. There's going to need to be a lot of action from this football club. Now, I get the worry about him negotiating. What I feel he's going to do moving forward with this is we will have to have a DOF. We will have to find someone. But in the short term, maybe Todd Boehly feels confident, along with Thomas Tuchel, who we already know has been given the authority on sign-offs on players coming in, sign-offs on players also leaving the club as well. Maybe they feel that between them, through this summer window, that they could potentially get things done a lot easier and quicker. We'll have to see what happens. I mean, 92 watching, only 21 likes is disgraceful. I mean, we've got 115 people in here. Guys, let's get this over. It should be easily over 50 likes. Please do that. The thumb's sitting there. Get it over 50 likes as well. I'm not being... I don't know what you guys are talking about here in the chat. Too soon, she should leave at the end of the window is what Blue Lounge Mo is saying. Nice to see him in the house as well. Been a long time, bro. I hope you're well as well. What else have we got? What people were saying here? The unfortunate big up to you, Mo. Hope you're well. Yeah, I think Mo is taking a little break from the Blue Lounge. Whether or not he'll return, we'll have to wait and see. Hoping he does, because the topics and everything that goes on around there and what he's built there is a big achievement. And I think he should, once he's ready himself, should look at potentially bringing it back on. But whatever he decides to do, I definitely support he's moved forward. Bex is saying Peter Cech deals with player negotiations too. Yes, I forgot about Peter Cech as well. That's true. Peter Cech Marina Granovskaia, now Todd Boehly. All right, so now you take Marina Granovskaia out of that. Peter Cech, Thomas Tuchel, Todd Boehly, two individuals. One that's played for this football club, the other that's wanting to create a system. What he said when he came through the door first, really, creating an animal, a team that no one wants to play against in Thomas Tuchel, along with Todd Boehly, who seems to be willing to allow or work with Thomas Tuchel to see his vision, work with him hard. And Lukaku should be priority number one, is what we've got here as well. How is that poll getting on before we move on? 54% to 46% of people still happy that she is leaving. Let's move on with this article as well. Boehly has been negotiating Romelu Lukaku's return to Inter, having already given head coach Thomas Tuchel great power in terms of Chelsea's transfers, business and contracts. What I just said, really, he's already doing negotiations. People saying, oh, I'm a bit worried, like this, the other. Look, if he manages to get rid of Romelu Lukaku, I'm going to tell you guys this now. If he manages to get rid of Romelu Lukaku now, at this point, then he has done, this is a big step in showing that you're backing Thomas Tuchel. Because if Thomas Tuchel, and it sounds like it, has already made it clear that he doesn't feel that Romelu Lukaku suits Chelsea. Obviously, we know Lukaku doesn't want to be here anyway, so that kind of gives it away. Just shows the right steps. And if he is doing the negotiating on that, you know, and whatever else, along with maybe Marina, maybe they're doing it together at the moment as she's still around, then, you know, this is a big W for him. And this is a great start of an owner in a new era, you know. And I think we just need to give him time. I think we definitely just need to give him time on that. Chelsea's new Boehly clearly will almost certainly appoint a new sporting director, have already been linked with Andrea Berta. But until then, Boehly and Tuchel will take the bulk of the responsibility left behind by Marina Granovskaia. Exactly what I just said to you guys. I didn't even know. I haven't read this article, but a lot of this is common sense, isn't it? So that makes a lot of sense to me. Tuchel, Boehly taking over. Granovskaia's exit will further underline the enormous operational change at Chelsea since Boehly cleared capital takeover was formally completed less than a month ago, with the chief executive Guy Lawrence and now Buck and Granovskaia following Roman Abramovich out the door. Buck and Granovskaia earned bonuses for the role they played in the sale of Chelsea, although the Telegraph can reveal it emerged that Boehly Clearlet Consortium held over 100 million from the agreed price over potential liabilities they could be hit with, which you already know about. We spoke about that already. The departure of Granovskaia will place a question mark over the future of Peter Cech. Chelsea's technical and performance advisor had also been working closely with Tuchel over football matters and transfers. Cech was appointed to his current position by Granovskaia and was asked to continue by the new owners, but the former keeper must now decide whether or not he wants to continue. Now, I think this all depends on what Peter Cech wants, whether he sees the idea that Boehly wants to move into, whether Boehly feels that he can find someone better than Peter Cech in that position, or maybe that he feels that Peter Cech could be more useful in a higher role at the football club. Now, these are all things that we are all waiting to see and understand. Big up to Rosa in the house as well. Big up to you. Igal says Chelsea fighting for Europa League next season. Why? Why would you even come out with that? Well, you better hope on getting Raphinha, mate, before Chelsea take him away from you. Before Chelsea take him away from you as well, Igal. Nice to see you, Igal. Anyway, make sure you go and check him out as well when you get a chance, guys. Yeah, it's interesting stuff to see what happens with Peter Cech. We'll have to wait and see. Granovskaia's effectively run Chelsea through the Abramovich years. Started in 2010. A Russian Canadian who graduated from Moscow, blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to read into that. She joined Chelsea FC PLC Football Club Board in 2013, took charge of player transfers and contracts. She won the award for the best club director in European football at the Italian-run Golden Boy Awards. Chelsea are yet to confirm Granovskaia's future, with Boehly Clearlet Capital still to announce the exact makeup of the club's new board. But the departure of Bruce Buck, who has been chairman of 2000 people, was announced on the statement read by Chelsea Football Club, blah, blah, blah. So this is going into Buck. The club has also grew its commercial revenue, but we've read all this. Now it's the right time to step down, and the Bruce Buck has led Chelsea to the football club of highest levels. So that was all what we read already. That's why I've kind of flew that. But there we go, guys. What are your thoughts and opinions on Marina Granovskaia leaving? We are going to jump into a little bit of transfer news next, and then we're going to open up the lines, allow the viewers to get in, have their say, as always, on the channel as well. But big news in and around that. I do need to delete this poll as well. Yeah, where is Showtime, Seppers? That's a good shout. That is a good shout. Where is Showtime? Showtime's probably sitting at home, wrapped up in a blanket, having a drink, and crying because he's going to have to change his picture of his DOF. Of his DOF. But talking of DOFs, we're going to get to that next in a second. We had this comment staying on the comments of Buck and Granovskaia. We understand that Boehly and co will now look to appoint a new sporting director for the footballing side of operations. I'm told they want someone with a football in mind and a clear history of being successful in this role. And that comes from Simon Phillips as well. So, listen, Todd Boehly taking over negotiations this summer is definitely a short-term thing. There's no way in hell that he's going to move forward and become the negotiator. There's no way in hell he's going to even have time, I think, with everything else that's going on around the club to fully concentrate on that role. And he will look to bring in someone. And obviously we've been linked to Andrea Berta, who's another one, who actually I want to bring up now, is the news as we speak at the moment, because we are looking for a new DOF. Maybe not as we speak at the moment, but there is this comment here from Diario AS, and they've come out saying Atletico Madrid sporting director Andrea Berta, who we know has been linked to Chelsea, sees a new adventure at Chelsea as an exciting option. But his arrival could depend on the future of Petr Cech. Now, what do they mean by this is the question, because I can't imagine Todd Boehly giving Petr Cech the DOF role. So why couldn't we still have Andrea Berta there and Petr Cech? Or is it that Petr Cech would be offloaded because Andrea Berta would want to bring his own extra individual aside to kick on, which he's been using at Atletico Madrid? Maybe. I don't know. I'm trying to maybe in many ways figure it out or understand what they mean by this. Now, we haven't been linked with any other DOFs as of yet. This doesn't mean that we're set in stone to be getting this guy, but this guy seems to be, as spoken on GNA TV before, linked to Chelsea quite heavily. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Everyone's arguing with Vigel in the chat at the moment. Big up to Undertaker CFC in the house as well, guys. Make sure that we smash the likes, though, guys. We've only got 42 likes. Should be over 50 by now. It's over 150 of you guys here. Let's get them likes up, please. Let's get them likes up as quickly as possible if we can. We are going to jump on to transfer news, which is it. We've done half hour talking about Bruce Buck and Marina Granovskaia. We're yet to find out just reading some of the comments. I was just reading some of the comments of people how they feel about Marina Granovskaia leaving. Some people were just not happy with the fact that Todd Boehly becomes a negotiator for this summer window. And they're going to use probably the fact of the potential understanding of the role. And look, I don't know how to feel about it because we don't know. You're either going to feel like some Chelsea fans do, this is a really bad idea because he has no experience in this position, negotiating, etc., etc. But at the same time, on the flip side, it's not knowing, and this is not something that's going to be long term. Maybe Todd Boehly just gets things done quicker. Maybe he knows time's against us. Maybe he feels that Marina holds us up in a way in terms of negotiating. Maybe he feels that he can just speed things up and get things done in the right way. The worry would be that if he starts buying players for stupid prices, and he needs to understand the transfer market, the transfer values. There's a lot of things that he coming in and taking on this role short term could be an issue. But at the same time, could work for us if he negotiates well. So I don't know. I'm really stuck in between with this whole Bruce Buck leading the time. Big up to Arjan in the house as well. Dexter, nice to see you as well, bro. Orients as well. Seppers. I'm quite pessimistic about Boehly negotiating transfer this window, but in the bigger scheme of things, I'm glad Marina is gone and Buck's role has been reduced. The boardroom needed a shake-up. This is the thing, and this is the other thing I don't get with Chelsea fans. A lot of Chelsea fans were crying for her to go now. They wanted her gone now. They didn't want her to deal with this window. She goes, and we bring in, all right, Boehly is negotiating short-term, and it's the whole thing of, oh, why we got this? This doesn't work. At the end of the day, Chelsea organising a DOF like that, I don't think is as easy. And if Marina Granovskaia does stay throughout this summer window to help Todd Boehly in negotiations and then leaves, which I think is probably maybe the better way forward, then fine. If she doesn't and she pulls away and we're left with Todd Boehly because this time he's not negotiated a new DOF and he's maybe in the talks with them and things need to be done now. And people forget things need to be done now. We haven't got time to fuck around. You know, we've got no choice, guys. At the end of the day, we've got no choice. Whatever Boehly chooses to do, we're going to have to just back it. That is literally the way I see it. Mid-table or relegation battle, setting loadings is what he's feeling. Again, gents, Marina's becoming a distraction. She's a great go for all of our transfer issues. Let's now look forward and see if the direction changes. Well, it will do. It will do by doing that, you know. Is she staying this window? I don't know. This is the thing that we're waiting for. In the article that Matt Law brought out through the Telegraph, it basically says that she's leaving, but what we're waiting to find out is if she's going to leave before the window or after the window. So let's see what happens. I don't know yet, Fatal. I haven't sorted it out. I haven't got a season ticket, mate. So not like you, unfortunately. I'd like to have a season ticket, but it's hard to get. Good question. I don't know. I mean, a lot of Dodgers fans seem to think that he's a good negotiator. They've managed to get some really good players over there as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if she becomes a constant consultant role like that. I don't think she would hang around for that role. I really don't. Jem, remember what Marina did according to Rudiger? Yeah. She ignored Rudiger for 6 months to negotiate a new deal. It's good. She's gone. And listen, again, I'm really stuck in the middle when it comes to her because I do think that she's made some absolute howlers and really caused issues at this football club. But at the same time, she's done quite a good job. I still think she's done okay. I know we've had some quite bad signings, and I get that. And I think most clubs will have the same issue. Every DOF will have that individual players that they bring in that doesn't work. But we have been successful in and around since he's come in. Could we have been more successful? Could they have backed the managers more? Yes, 100%. Maybe we wouldn't have had so many changes of managers if we had the right backing. But at the same time, it's a hard one, you know. She also sold players well, you know. She made some really good money on players. I know that a good example of that is David Luiz, Alvaro Morata. There's a number of players that she's negotiated well and got us decent money on. Hazard, for example, is a great one. You know, we sell Hazard, you know, and we're still getting paid back for him now with the clauses that are in the contract that he's got, and he's hardly even played for him. 150 million from him. You know, she's not been all bad, is what I'm trying to get at. I think we sometimes go over the top with it, you know. So there we go, guys. There's the news in and around Marina Granovskaia, Bruce Buck. We wait to see Marina's outcome, whether she stays throughout this window and then leaves at the end of this summer, or if she leaves before this window and Todd Boehly kicks on. I think Todd Boehly seems to be taking control of things already with the Romelu Lukaku saga anyway. So maybe it's a thing that she leaves. Ben saying she's been decent with outgoings, but man, she's had some howlers. Yeah, I agree. Hazard sale was amazing work by Marina. We're still getting paid from it. True. That's what I just said there. Jim, the new owner has to change wage structure. And maybe that's the part of the reason why these big decisions have been made so quickly. He's probably looked at that wage bill and gone, Christ, we are spending stupid money. And get rid of the main earner from us in Romelu Lukaku is probably a good start. It's inaccurate to say she didn't buy well. Leicester wanted 8 million for Chile. No, she again, another good example, Dexter. Another good example. Big up to Matthew in the house as well. Nice to see you, brother. Now, guys, we are going to move on to a bit of transfer news, and then we're going to open up the lines and get you guys involved as well. But make sure we get these likes up to 100. We've only got 48 likes, not even over 50 likes. Everyone, if you haven't hit that like button, please hit it now. Please hit it now. I am also going to close this poll. Asking about, are you happy with Marina leaving? It ended with 55% saying yes and 45% saying no. So a lot closer than I expected. A lot closer than I expected on that one. But I have got one more poll for you guys. Here we go. Here we go. Let me get this right. I've got really bad. Right. 2 seconds. This is the next topic that we're going to... Oh, good same. Well, that's annoying. Now I've got to do it again. This is the next one. This is what we're going to move to because a little bit of breaking on this one. Raphinha to Chelsea. Yes or no is the next poll in the chat today. I want to be interested to see what people say on that. And the reason I say that is because Fabrizio Romano himself, the man himself, Fab, has come out with this comment. Raphinha's situation. Barcelona agreed personal terms with Raphinha, but no agreement on fee with Leeds. Now, they've probably stood away from that based upon value, and I think most teams will. Arsenal are in direct negotiations with Leeds, interested since March. Both Chelsea and Tottenham have been in contact too. Fee could be around 65 to 75 mil. Now, I thought that was originally euros, and then I believe Simon Phillips come out and said sterling, or someone come out and said sterling. Now, whether it's euros or sterling, we'll have to wait and see. But the biggest question is Raphinha the type of profile you want to see at Chelsea? You know, my biggest thing with Raphinha will be the same thing as the way I feel with Raheem Sterling. The current 65 to 75 million pounds, which is what we're being told. What's that? What is this? Something's just made me panic. 1 second. No, this can't be true. Please tell me someone's made that up. Please tell me someone made. We're coming back to Raphinha in a second, but 1 second. Please say that's not true. That ain't true. That ain't true. I'm panicking. Where does it say this? No. This has got to be a fake. I'm not bringing it up. Sorry. I've just seen a comment on Twitter. And basically, we'll go back to Raphinha in a second. This is a club statement, and then it's got the Chelsea image. And it says Scott McLaughlin takes on a new role of technical director. No. That's got to be fake. I need to know where someone's got this. That can't be true. I think that's photoshopped. Please tell me that's photoshopped. Scott McLaughlin as technical director. No, that can't be right. Sorry, guys. I've gone scarce because I'm trying to see if it's true. I've seen it, mate. But it's not on the club statement. It's not. I've just checked. It's a lie. I've just checked Chelsea. I'm on Chelsea's site now. There is no news saying that Scott McLaughlin is the new technical director of Chelsea. No. No. Yeah, it's fake. I believe it's fake. I saw that tweet as well. It's fake. Yeah, fake. Yeah, facts. Yeah, I thought so, guys. I just panicked. Sorry, I went quiet for a second. I was just like, no, 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 no. He's not that bad. But he doesn't even know him. Anyway, back to Raphinha news. Forget what I just said about Scott McLaughlin. It's not on the Chelsea news. He's not technical director of Chelsea. I just thought it would have been the website. It's the same thing as Sterling, guys. It's the same thing as Sterling. 65 to 75 million sterling is a lot of money for a player that, look, I do rate. I like Raphinha. I think Raphinha is a top player. Another one that can create, good on the right. But does that then eliminate Dembele? Does that then eliminate the idea of getting Dembele? For me personally, I'd rather get Dembele on a free and negotiate a decent wage than spend nearly 70 million on Raphinha, or 65, 75 million Raphinha, who's still going to demand maybe close to 200k a week. When he shouldn't do, because he's just been at Leeds. How Leeds are trying to get away with 65 to 75 million makes no sense to me. Like, obviously, I know he's their best player, but that is a lot of money. That is a lot of money. You know, I get that. Like CFC Blues, I get he's an injury risk. I do get that with Dembele, but that is too much money. I can't go against what I've been holding on to through this whole window. When I said to you guys that we need to be smart, that we have to make signings of players for decent values. We need to negotiate them well. We have to. I can't see us doing 75 million here, 70 million there, 90 million there. No. Leeds, for me personally, Raphinha should not be no more than 45 mil. I feel Raphinha shouldn't be no more than 45 mil. I don't know. If it's cap, that's Sadiq. I know it's Sadiq, yeah, but I just wouldn't know if it's true. It's obviously just been photoshopped as well. I just think we need to be clever about it. Dembele's wages will be near. Well, again, negotiations. You know, that's got to be negotiated properly. You don't get rid of Romelu Lukaku, who's on 340k a week, to then go and bring in Dembele, who then goes on 300. It doesn't work like that. Like, he's going to have to take a cut. He probably ain't going to like the offer that Chelsea's putting forward to him, because it is going to be a big cut to what he's used to. But he's going to have to take it. I don't know. You don't have to take it. But if Barcelona don't give him a proposal, he's just going to be a free player. Eventually, he's going to have to accept a proposal. That's why I see it. Liverpool need Raphinha, is what AK's saying as well. I'll put out a poll anyway. The poll here says 64% yes to Raphinha, 63% yes to Raphinha, to 37% no. I want to change that poll. I want to change that poll because I want to see if the same thing happens to what happened yesterday when we put out the Sterling thing. For 65 to 75 M's. Let's see this now. See who's answered this one. See, I'm trying to get an understanding. There's over 180 of you guys here. Make sure we get these likes up, guys. We've only got 56 likes at the same time. So let's try and get these likes up. We should be on 100 likes by now. Please do that. Subscribe if you're new as well to the channel. Now I want to see what people are saying now. I'll put another poll out asking Raphinha to Chelsea for 65 to 75 million. I want to see what your votes will be on that basis. Listen, there's no doubt that he's a great player. There's no doubts that he's a great player. He is a top player. He's a player with ability, but raw ability, a raw talent, a player that needs the right manager to maybe excel his levels, make him take him to the next step. Now, if you were to ask me Raheem Sterling or Raphinha, it would depend on Dembele. See, I still feel Dembele's key on both of these. Because if you bring in Dembele, then I think we get Sterling. If you bring in Sterling and Dembele don't want to come, then you bring in Raphinha. And you have Raphinha, Sterling and Havertz. Or whoever. Josh, there has to be context to this, though. There has to be context to this. Because We saw how bad Leeds were last season defensively. He's in a team that is not very good. Let's be serious. In a team that does not create much, or they break forward and they do their thing, but it's just not Chelsea, is it? Playing around better players, I think you'd see a better Raphinha. Pounds, Gabriel. Pounds. 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 So at the moment, we're sitting at 35% of people saying yes and 65% saying no. So again, you guys are on the same mindset as me. You feel that Raphinha is good to come Chelsea, but not for that much. Again, we need to negotiate, is what we're saying. We need to negotiate. So there we go. There is news on Raphinha, guys. 25 to 30 million tops for, nah, you ain't going to get him for that. No way, Josh. Are you mad? No way. He's easily up to 40, 45 million for me. Easily. I ain't going to lie. Richarlison links get me a little excited. Shithouse player. Richarlison's another one. It's a weird one because I don't, again, rate him highly. But we keep getting linked to players that I don't really like much. Other than Raphinha, I do like quite a bit. But then being given like 60, 70 million price tags on them, which just don't make no sense to me. Why would we do that? Why would we do that? Richarlison's 50 to 60 million. I don't know. Let's do another quick poll then. Let's do another quick poll because a lot of people agree to that one. And then we're going to switch on to Sterling. Who would you prefer to Chelsea? Raphinha. Got another one for you guys. I'm enjoying these polls, as you can see. As you can see. Put that in. There we go. There we go. Who would you prefer? Who would you prefer to Chelsea? There we go. All right. There we go. Another one for you guys. Another one for you guys to answer. Who would you prefer Chelsea to sign this window? Raphinha, Sterling, or Richarlison? Let's go. Let's see it. Let's see what you guys are going to say in the chat. So if we had to choose one, to come into Chelsea and playing for Chelsea, who would it be? Who would it be? Interesting stuffs. Should look at Everton from Brazil. What Charlie's saying. You can't call a guy creative with 3 assists. He is. He is creative. I get what you're saying. He's going first St. Max and Richarlison is Raphinha all day. The poll's there. Vote on the poll, guys. Vote on the poll. Leave the poll up for a bit. And we'll move away from this and we'll jump on to Mr. Raheem Sterling, who has still been linked heavily to Chelsea. Look at the outputs. This might improve your poll decision. Highest scoring Premier League winners of all time. Mo Salah 120. Sadio Mane with 111. Raheem Sterling with 109 goals. Third all time at the age of 27. And he isn't finished yet. He's got a good 3-4 years in him, depending on where he goes next. But his outputs are good. And this is what I keep saying to people. His outputs are good. And I get that it's with Man City, in a Man City team that have been awesome for a while. I get that. But it doesn't condone that when you create for him, he will score. Like, he will take his chances. I know he misses chances as well. I know he does miss chances as well. Don't get me wrong. But the real issue with Sterling is bringing him in is fine. But bringing him into the bunch of players that we currently have as our forward line is an issue for me. You know, it's definitely an issue for me. 66 likes, guys. Let's get this over 75. Let's try and get this to 100 likes before we get the viewers on. Yeah, if you haven't hit that thumb, do it now. Over 180 of you guys here. Thank you all for tuning in today. Klaus thought he's not bad too. Yeah, I've seen him as well. Timo, Sterling, Raphinha, less wages is what we've got here as well. So there we go. There's a little bit there. We are going to open up the lines very shortly as well. And a little tweet here from Simon Phillips as well, basically saying, I'm sure Raheem Sterling could be much more useful player than Romelu Lukaku for Thomas Tuchel's ideas. Chelsea need a player with these skills and attributes. Fabrizio Romano via caught offside. And I agree with him. I think Raheem Sterling is more versatile. I think Raheem Sterling is direct and quick. I think Raheem Sterling can adapt to different systems. He offers more, I feel. All right, he's not an out-and-out goal scorer, but he scores goals. You've seen what I've just shown you there. Third highest goal scorer in the Premier League. Yes, I get it's a risk with him, you know, and people are still worried about it. For me, with Raheem Sterling, it's how much can you negotiate? How much can you negotiate and how much can you get him for me? That's the real big question on this one. But we have to see, because I do agree with Fabrizio there. I do feel he has a lot more in his locker. Sterling has a lot more to his game than any of the players we have at the moment. I agree. He's more versatile. Barcelona are calling for Sterling, Gem. Where? Where is this? Where is this nonsense? Where is this nonsense? No, there ain't nothing here. Just see a picture of Rudiger in the Real Madrid shirt, man. Painful. Should not have happened. That is one thing that Marina fucked up big time on. Massively. But there we go. There's news on there on Sterling. We then move on to the most recent negotiations that we understand with regards to him as well. And it comes from Fabrizio Romano. Raheem Sterling, Chelsea's top target, as reported last Tuesday. Man City won around 55 million euros of 60. Approach for 25 million euros plus add-ons turned down. Chelsea will be back with a new bid soon as Man City are open to let him go. But Man City want between 100 to 110 million euros for Jesus and Sterling. They ain't getting that. I'm sorry. They are not making that money. And if we agreed anywhere near that for Sterling, 50, 60 million, I will not be too happy. I won't. The fact that we've gone in so low, if this is our negotiation style, well, you want 60, we'll just give you the lowest possible. We know you're going to turn us down. The next bid that will come in will be, how can we meet in the middle? And that's what I feel that we've done. I feel like we've gone in so low, knowing that it's going to get turned away, to potentially meet at around 35 to 40 million. I don't think Chelsea want to spend more than 40 million for Sterling. I don't. Maybe a little bit more on the early 40 sides, but I wouldn't. I genuinely wouldn't. We need to be more smart, guys, with what we spend on him. Sterling is a speed merchant, is what Cody's saying. 25 million. Good start from the lowest. Yeah, start from the lowest. Sterling is no, he fits City system. Why are we wasting time with him? Because he's English, because he's Premier League proven. He's got third highest goals in Premier League history as a winger. He has experience. He can adapt to this team in the way that Thomas Tuchel likes to play. He gives us options in the way that we play. The issue with Sterling is he isn't enough. You bring him in, he isn't enough. It isn't the answer. You need more around him. I am not Raheem Sterling's biggest fan. In fact, I criticise him quite a lot. But his outputs are there. His numbers are there. You know, he scores goals. I just don't know if we're going down the route of Premier League proven players, because we're too worried about continuously buying players outside of the Premier League and asking them to adapt, which we're going to have to do when we eventually get the likes of people like Jules Koundé and whatever else. But you need to have a balance. You know, it's important that you have a balance to to what you bring in. You know, and that's the big thing for me. Now, to make this a little bit more. Look at what I say. Interesting that Westview has been removed from the general admission ticket price. So it just means it's just right. Just reading something about Chelsea. Yeah, all right, cool. So we move away from Sterling. More on that, just to give you guys an idea of where our current forwards are at to what we currently have at the moment. We had this comment come out here, a tweet come out from Noxtainment. The Premier League stats of Chelsea attackers will make you cry. Are you ready? Pulisic, 74 matches, 19 goals. Havertz, 56 games, 12 goals. Werner, 56 games, 10 goals. Ziyech, 46 games, 6 goals. Callum Hudson-Odoi, 72 games, 4 fucking goals. Now we get why Tuchel is chasing Sterling, Richarlison and Dembele. Now, what is the key issue with this current crop of names that are on there right now? What is the key issue? And you look at Sterling and these outputs compared to that, it's embarrassing. It's generally embarrassing. Our forward line is embarrassing. It is. But when you look at them crop of players and their names, and you think that a lot of them have played with each other for the last 2 seasons now, why is this the issue? The big issue is the chemistry. And I keep saying this, chemistry is a big thing, right? The second big issue with these crop of players is their abilities. And when I say their abilities to fit what Thomas Tuchel wants or what Thomas Tuchel requires. Because what Thomas Tuchel requires in his system is forwards that are versatile, that can adapt, that can switch formation in between a game, that can still be effective depending on, in different positions when asked to be. Work hard for the team, movement, energy. Energy is a big one. Barring Kai Havertz and maybe Timo Werner sometimes because he runs around, none of them do that. The chemistry is everywhere. Ziyech, I wouldn't be shocked if he leaves. Honestly, I would generally not be shocked if he left this football club. Callum Hudson-Odoi, all you Choho stands that keep sticking up for this boy. 72 games gives him 4 goals. It's embarrassing. We can't be sitting here saying he doesn't get game time. He's just not effective enough. Yeah, he may be a creator, but that goal tally is shocking. And he's probably got one of the worst final finishing out of all of our forward line. I don't mind bringing in Sterling, Dembele, Raphinha, whoever it is that you want to bring in. But you have to bring in players that are versatile and that fit Tuchel's ideas moving forward. Pulisic's still struggling to show us that he fits what Tuchel wants. Havertz, I feel, can do more than the others that's on there, but struggles with getting involved in the game as much because of the chemistry and then players around him and himself because he's inconsistent, which can be eliminated once you find the right crop of forward players that can work together and link well together. Timo Werner, what is he? No one knows. We bought him to be a striker. He ended up playing left wing, and then he played on the right, left, and then as a second striker. Hakim Ziyech was brought in to be the creator, yet every time that man tried to take the ball from deep and play ball over the top, it'd go out, or it'd be overhit, or he would want too much time on the ball. Premier League don't give you that, Ziyech. Ziyech always, he's weak, can't take a player on. I was so excited for Raheem Sterling when he came to Chelsea. I wanted him. I really wanted him. But it just hasn't worked. Callum Hudson-Odoi has all the ability in the world, a bit like Ruben Loftus-Cheek. But he deceives. It can't be defended. He goes hot and cold. He goes missing. He's not Eden Hazard-esque. He hasn't got that. He needs to move away, for me personally. We do need to refresh it, but refreshing it and bringing in Sterling or Dembele, whoever it is, Bring in players that are going to actually work well together, chemistry. And to do that, to have the chemistry that we need in the Tuchel system, we need to have directiveness, speed, players with speed, players that are direct, and players that when they find themselves in front of goal will take their chances. Maybe not to the highest level of someone like Son at Spurs, because he is clinical, but at least near that. We need direct players. I do think that direct, quick, speedy, players that can link well, drop deep, drag players left, right, centre. Dembele does that. Sterling does that. Havertz, with his movement as well. Like, cool. People want that clinical striker. I think we're moving away from it. I do genuinely think we're going to be moving away from the clinical edge. We haven't even hit 100 likes. Yeah, we haven't even hit 100 likes. We've got 70 likes. We're 30 likes away. Over 190 of you guys here. I'm opening up the lines any second now as well. We're going to be going into that next. Sorry, I went a little bit right about that, but I'm just so fed up with our forward line. You should know from now by long. London Football brought out this about Todd Boehly. Transfer targets identified, bids in and negotiations underway for multiple players. Lukaku moved on swiftly near completion. Boardroom restructured. The Boehly era has arrived. And it is kicking in well in effect now. And it's just about seeing the outputs, the outcomes. What is the outcomes of this? Because moving Lukaku on swiftly is a big W for me. Getting him negotiated and off and agreeing that we don't need him and taking that step. And he didn't want to be here anyway is a big W and been backing Tuchel. So that's good. Boardroom restructure, cool. Needed it. Starting early, why not? I'm down with that. Transfer targets identified. Cool. Whoever their real transfer targets are, their hot transfer targets are. If they are under negotiations and bids are in, cool. But we need to see action. We need to see things happening. Koundé, what's going on? Why are we still waiting for Koundé? All right, he had the surgery and whatever, he came out, it was successful. Give Sevilla what they want. And I know Sevilla have been goddamn hard to deal with. They have been goddamn hard to deal with in this negotiations for Jules Koundé. Dembele, all right, if it's on him to make his proposal, fine. You've done your bit. You've given him a bid. You've negotiated. You've offered Barcelona, whatever. Fine. If it's just waiting on his choice after his holiday, then fair enough. Can't do much about that. Sterling, do not get dragged into spending stupid money. Find the middle point. And find a way of not being bent over, which is what we have been in the past. Trying to think of a nice way to put it, but I didn't have a nice thought in my head to say. But you know what I mean, yeah? So this is the big one. This is the big one for the summer window. And we only know that at the end of it. So us all pulling our hands out and moaning, no, just wait. We can't do nothing about it. It is what it is at the moment. It is what it is. We had this article here as well from Chelsea Socials, who has basically come out and made an article on Todd Boehly. Todd Boehly's new Chelsea goal will be one that makes fans proud, and this is their thoughts and opinion. Obviously, we're going to read all of it. We're just going to fly through it. We already know that he took it over, blah, blah, blah. Todd Boehly's business background, a most successful English club of the decade, Roman Abramovich, blah, 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 through the silverware. Yep, this is our silverwares, Chelsea trophies under Roman Abramovich ownership. You can see the amount of that success that we've had since Roman come in. For that reason, it is that a positive news that Todd Boehly has a vast background in sports. Boehly is responsible for vicious businesses such as Dodgers. He's also part owner of the 17-time NBA champions Los Angeles Lakers and 3-time championship winners Los Angeles Sparks. So he is owner of Los Angeles Lakers, part owner, Sparks as well, and obviously the Dodgers, which we already know. He's co-founder, CEO of Elbridge Industries as well. Really know all this. However, what is the most interesting thing about it is he tried to buy the club in 2019. That might have been even one of the factors that worked positively towards Todd's successful beating 11 other consortiums in the way to it. It's not like the Miners League came into European football, came into European football. This is several of these competitors. Blah, blah, blah. Boehly did make a bid of around 2.3 billion for Chelsea back in 2019, which Roman Abramovich obviously rejected. Considering Todd's Sportico interview from 2021, it is safe to say that he's an excellent team operator. And in addition to that, he also arrives at Chelsea with an innovative mindset. An interesting parallel was in the answer to the question of the reason he enjoys engaging in the sports industry. Blah, blah, blah. As for Boehly in 2020, he stated that he finds the field intellectually stimulating, which these statements do not indicate the capacity of either individual. It is evident that Boehly's sport mindset is remarkable, blah, 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 yet to be seen. Yes, he has a sporting background. It makes sense. This could potentially be a turning point in Chelsea's tradition of immediatism with the personnel, and maybe even a culture change in the excessive sacking of managers. Many fans argue that clubs' unrealistic expectations have led to the club's direction to act with poorly thought decisions in the past. Already read that. Todd Boehly effect with the LA Dodgers. What should we Chelsea expect? Amongst the other factors that encourage Chelsea supporters to warmly welcome Todd Boehly, it is obviously the LA Dodgers. It's reasonable to say that LA Dodgers' recent history is divided into the team before and after Todd, when the team was under the management of Frank McCourt, blah, 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 blah. The scenario was that the Dodgers were in turbulent financial and competitive waters. As an opportunity seekers, Todd Boehly, alongside our investors, got together to buy the baseball team for $2.15 billion. The takeover was not free from controversies. However, since the new owners took over management, Dodgers have been one of the United States' most successful teams. Many classify the team's turnaround as one of the most surprising plot twists in sport history. So he has really dragged the team from the ditches, from the gutters, and made it what it is today. Since the group takeover, the team went from competing against small market clubs to surpassing the New York Yankees as the sport's biggest spenders as well. If the new owners plan on taking the Dodgers business strategy as an example, it might suit Chelsea just fine. Alongside Todd Boehly's Mark Waters, as we already know, the duo have performed together, include buying a 27% share of Los Angeles as well. There they are together. Waters, controller and owner of the LA Dodgers as well. He is the person responsible for running the LA Angeles Dodgers Foundation. According to Forbes, their worths are there. We already know who Clear Lake Capital is. We know who Hanshaw's this is. I ain't going to get into that. Jonathan Goldstein is the final component. Obviously, we know him as well, and he's acting in regards to the stadium as well, how he moves forward with that. Chelsea's new owners mean new administration. Bruce Buck's position, as we already know, is gone. Marina Granovskaia looks like she's going to be leaving as well. So there's going to be a massive shake-up from us as well. What supporters demand from the new owners, which you already know, is the new owners that are several issues that consortiums need to address to guarantee the best interests. Blah, blah, blah. Should Stamford Bridge long due renovation be new to custodians' priority? I won't get into that too much as well. But it's quite a good article. If you haven't read it and you've got time to read it, read it. It's on the Chelsea Social on Twitter. Go and check him out as well. Big up to everyone that's in the chat. Deal CFC, nice to see you. Jim, stop waffling and give us the link. That's nice, Coach's Corner, isn't it? That is really nice. What's wrong with the Kunde deal? What's wrong? Okay, interesting stuff. Let's get into this. Let's get into Kunde quickly. The lines are going to be open as well. Jules Koundé's representatives growing frustrated with Chelsea's negotiations and want the deal. Want the deal doing. That's what Graham Bailey's reported on himself from the 90-minute football cast. And when you click into it, it's 90-minute football again. I don't read too much into this as well, but we already know that Chelsea have been very slow. It's in, mate. There you go. Panel's there. Links in the chat. The link is in the chat. Let's get them in. So while we're waiting for them, make sure you get these likes over 100, guys. We've only got 89 likes. We should be well over 100. You want me to put the link in the chat, but we're not even over 100 likes. Not even over 100 likes, guys. What we're going to say. So Todd Boehly is going to be the negotiator. So supposedly, yes. Supposedly, yes. How are we doing, guys?
Very good. How are you, John?
Yeah, not bad, mate. Not bad, not bad. Just trying to fly through as much as I possibly can. But yeah, what's your thoughts?
I think for me, Marina has been very good. I mean, in the whatever she does, she deserves respect. I think we need to like it's an end of the era. Roman is gone. Now Marina. Now we just need to look for Todd Boehly, like you said, Todd Boehly era. Bring his people to think about his mentality. Like Marina has very much the mentality of Roman, which is business, getting like very like aggressive in terms of whatever she wants. Even like Lukaku, for example, even how expensive Lukaku was. Marina, if she puts her head into the deal, she will get it done. But for Todd Boehly, it's more like like you said, very with planning, analysis. He wants the right player. He doesn't want to spend money. Like carefree. He wants to spend money correctly, which is right. Because if you look at players like Lukaku, even like kind of Havertz, if you look like all those players expensive that came in, even at that time when we bought Torres, Shevchenko,
Yeah.
never really worked. Never really worked for Chelsea. If you look at it was a player that was underrated like Drogba, which came, no one really know him at that time. Diego Costa, yes, he came, but he was not that, that popular, but every time there was those underrated, like Mendy, for example. Mendy came, he conquered, So you don't need to have like expensive players to conquer, the football. So you just need to be smart. And I hope Boehly, Boehly does his job, because transfer window is a bit slow. But like for me, I'm still chill. I'm gonna wait, because there's a lot of things in the background that we don't know. Like Marina is leaving, so we don't really know what is the background, why Chelsea's taking time. So we'll see. I just hope that we don't lose some players like Koulibaly or by waiting. So, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see what happens. I mean, we do need to, like I said, the Jules Koundé one. We need to again. I think we do need to speed this up a bit. If we are the reason that he's not made the, that he's not been announced, because we just read the article now. Apparently, we're reluctant to spend more than 50 million, which is what he's saying at the moment. So it's like he still wants to play for you, but you're not wanting to spend more. In Chelsea, have obviously got this cap or idea that they don't want to spend more than a certain amount. Sevilla are playing hard game at the moment as well, so we have to see what happens with that as well. Couch's Corner, what are you saying?
No, I'm doing good. Hope you are doing good. Also, Jim and the chat and Rodrigo, Declared, and
Thanks.
Dane. So yeah,
Yep, Connors.
I before I heard this news, I was stressed. I was like, why? Jim was that so big. Okay, I was stressed. I was very angry. Chelsea. I was panicking, but now I think Chelsea are doing business silently. I think this is confirmation. This gave me confirmation. Chelsea are doing the business silently, but I am still worrying because I just don't know why we are so slow. For me, we are too slow. As Chelsea Football Club, we should be quicker. That's the thing for me. That's scaring me because I don't read into the Juice Kunde thing, but I read an article last week about we're still negotiating, trying to get between 50 and 60 million. And so, for me, why are we wasting precious time? That's my question. And Bruce Buck and Marina. I think we all expected this, but yeah,
But maybe
hopefully.
because this is why Marina left, because we don't know what happened in the background, for suddenly Marina's leaving. We don't know. Maybe, like you said, like you said and James said, like Chelsea's very like aggressive in terms of I want you for 50, you have to come at 50. And Sevilla is playing games, it's be like, no, you give me 55 or you give me,
Well,
57.
they know
And
we're desperate. They know we don't have centre backs. I don't blame them.
yeah,
I'll,
we
I'll,
know
do,
we
I'll,
know we don't
I'll
have
be
center
honest.
back.
I'll
No,
do
but
the same.
Rodrigo,
Yeah,
at the same time, they know they
yeah,
can't keep Kunde again. With
yeah,
the
yeah,
last one they pulled. So
yeah.
Chelsea
Yeah.
are in a better position to go, well, we're not going to give you what we agreed on.
How long does
We're
Kunde
going to
have
give
on
you
his
this
contract?
much.
But how long does Kunde have on his contract?
2-3, I think.
Yeah, so they
think
can
so.
just keep him. I don't.
Yeah, they can.
Yeah,
But
Yeah.
you already have a disgruntled player, and probably
Yeah.
a verbal agreement that they'll let him go next season. Break that again. I don't think you got a player that's going to actually play for you, and you're not going to get the
Yeah.
same performances out of
Ma-
him.
But the
So
thing
they
is
can
that
have him for
Barca,
2-3 season. He'll
Yeah.
probably just sit on the bench.
Yeah.
There was pictures of a guy crying he didn't get his deal last time. So they're risking. I mean, what's even worse is if you get a disgruntled player. I mean, they aren't robots.
yeah.
If he down tools because he's not happy, then what are they going to do with that player? It's going to cost them even more money.
but if
So
you look
I
at
think
it
Chelsea
now,
just testing the lower amount. They're like, we're not going to pay you the same amount of what you did last time. You got a player that wants to leave.
Do
So
you
we're gonna
think
offer
he,
you a
he
bit
has
less.
to put in a he has to put in a transfer request then?
He probably already has.
I think it does. I think it did.
He was
I
ready
think
to
it
move.
did. I think it
Yeah.
did.
What's your thoughts?
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on Marina Granovskaia anyway, leaving and the Bruce Buck news? What's your thoughts on these?
That, Bruce Buck, yeah, good
Great
news.
news.
Great news.
Yeah, great
I
news.
think-
Bruce Buck should be calm.
It shows that there's at least the structure will change. There's some It's good. He has to start at the top, doesn't it? He has to start with the chairman, and then that will trickle down to the scouts and everything. So the football structure has to change.
100%, because Todd Boehly, if you look at Todd Boehly, why I'm very happy with Todd Boehly, he with Lukaku, he was okay, like understand one thing in terms of business perspective. Even when you're a new owner, when he looks at the balance sheet and see, wait, Lukaku's market value was like 100 million, and now we're going to do that, but he back took off. And said, Lukaku, you go. And now he's like, Bruce Buck, you go. So he's like you said, a structure of a club comes from the top to the middle to the bottom. So Todd Boehly is refixing everything, which is good, because when you look at Man United, the Glazers, everything is corrupted from the top. That's why United, even when we buy players, no one succeeds, because the top itself is corrupted.
Yeah.
So Todd Boehly did a very good job. So people who right now is saying that Todd Boehly, why you're being so slow, because you have to understand, like Chelsea right now, there's a lot of things going backgrounds that we fans we don't know. Because like Bruce Buck, for me, is a very good news right now. For me, Bruce Buck leaving is a better news for me than getting Koundé right now, because I know for the future, it would be good. So that for me is a very good news. I was very happy to.
Ask Jem or the panel. I've asked a lot of Chelsea fans as well. What does Sterling bring to us that we don't have? How good
Not
is
much.
Sterling
Are
really?
you serious? Is that even a question?
Sterling is a direct player.
It's
That's
not
what
much.
he
He's just
brings.
a better dribbler.
Did you not look at the outputs that I put up?
Sterling's better than everyone we have.
Did you not look at the amount of goals he scored?
Because
but
no,
the
just-
reason I'm saying this year, last season, we kept hearing the same thing. All we need is a goal scorer. We got someone who, on paper, is a great goal scorer. He didn't solve our issue. What is our issue really?
He brings us a bit of both, really. I think he brings us goals. I do think he's more of a goal scorer than the ones that we have at the moment. I think if you look at in the way that he plays the game, he's also more of a creative person as well. I think he brings a lot more
Exactly.
creativity than what we have at the moment as well.
It
But
was the same thing I was talking about when I told Chelsea we should sign Luis Diaz, because he's a very, very good player. When we play against teams that have like 5 players on their defense, so we need players that can really go for that defense and be direct, not trying to try to dribble and then make a back pass. You go direct, just the same way like Dembele, Ousmane Dembele. Those are the kind of players that we need. So that's what I'm trying to say. Not you get to the right back and then you try to make 1 or 2 steps over us and then you pass it back to the midfielder.
Our issue last year was creating chances or converting them. Well, what's the main issue that we have at Chelsea?
both.
We had both.
Structure. Main
No,
issue
but
was structure.
it's converting that's most. Like, look, if you look, actually, Sterling has a 30% conversion rate, right? So even in a team where, well, look, Jem, I'll read up some stats, right? Sterling's conversion rate is pretty low at 13, so he's fine. He's scoring a lot, but he's also missing a lot at Man City, right? And then when you come to the eye test, you've seen him miss some horrendous misses, right? So he's not a prolific goal scorer. Then when you compare with Chelsea and Man City, right? The stats of big chances created from the EPL site, right, on how they counted it. We're about 6-7 off Man City, but on the league table they've scored 20 goals more than us plus, right?
Bro.
So yes, we can increase our chances, yeah, but goal scoring is our bigger issue, right?
Yeah, I agree.
So we're throwing a lot of money at Sterling wages wise, and if the transfer fee is over 35, that's quite a bit for someone left with.
Let me ask you this, Ted. Let me ask you this. You this because I know you're not a massive fan. I ain't actually a massive fan of him, but I'm really trying to understand what way.
Let me just.
I'm trying to understand what certain Chelsea fans want because I don't understand it. So you want a goal scorer. So who do you want? Go on, tell me. Who for you fits everything that you're saying?
Players like, I mean, now let me give this disclaimer first. Yeah, I still think Sterling is a good player, but not the characteristics we actually need to solve our problem.
Tell me who you would want. Who
so
is
the names that we've been, names that even we've been linked with Charlison, players like Aubameyang and Cuckoo. I mean, there's very agile strikers that can play a bit, all through the front three. Watkins. I mean, who else? I'm just trying to run off names. It's a character. It's a type of player. It's not necessarily their level.
Trying to understand the type of player that you're talking about, because when you say that he isn't a goal scorer, but he scored more goals than all of them that you just listed out he scored 107 goals in the Premier League. That's a lot of goals.
He has, but I said he's got a low conversion. It
doesn't matter, but he still scores 100 scores. He's the third highest scorer from a winger position in the Premier League.
It's all about chances taken, right?
Yeah.
He's not going to find the same. Look, do you think Sterling's going to score as many goals as he did for Man City at Chelsea?
I think it's important that if you bring Sterling in, you bring also someone like Dembele in. I don't think just bringing Sterling in answers our questions.
But Jem, at the end of the day, to have both of them, right, and then Havertz is missing that person that drops into the midfield that makes him is important role, right? And I do want more than one. I agree, but you're getting a little bit of what we have. We're getting better players of what we have. It doesn't necessarily solve the problem. I do want Dembele or Sterling on the side, but also the player I just described as well, right? If we get that two combo, I'm on board.
Why can't Havertz do that? What you're saying then? If
Havertz could do it, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
No. I'm saying you're saying you still have Sterling and Dembele, but then you still want that Nkunku, for example, in the team as well. Why can't you have Sterling, Dembele, and Havertz at the end of it, who will have a lot more created for it from them too? That's what I'm trying to understand.
Yeah, didn't I just say I'm all for that? To have those two. I thought
you were saying that we still need to have an agile striker. That's what I thought you was trying to explain. Like you need.
Yeah, look, like Jem, like I get the creation side, and these players are actually good on the eye too, so I get the excitement around them. Right, but the goal scoring has been our issue for multiple seasons. It was our biggest issue. We threw 100 mil at that issue. I think it's still it's a massive problem. And if Werner and Havertz was converting and Pulisic, if some of these boys were actually converting a bit, we wouldn't have this conversation or this problem. I just want someone that's a bit of a killer. I know.
Listen, the difference between Raheem Sterling and Timo Werner and Hakim Ziyech is that he's a lot more versatile. And that is what we need in a Thomas Tuchel system. I keep telling you this. We don't have forwards that are able to adapt to different systems and have the movement and the energy with it. We don't have that. We don't have that. Ziyech don't do it. Pulisic don't do it. Werner runs, but doesn't. He's technically.
I agree. Well, what I'm saying is Sterling's going to be Sterling's a good player and he fits in the system. It just doesn't solve the goal scoring issue.
No, I agree.
So if it's Sterling and someone else, but
I agree.
But so the other issue I have is that he's going to be, when Lukaku's gone, he would be our, if he's coming on similar wages, and if we pay him over 50 mil, that's over 50 mil and our highest paid player on a player that I don't feel solving our problem. I would like to throw a lot of money at the more goal scoring side. So, but if we do get both, I'm happy.
Yeah, did you not watch games last season where we created nothing? Man United was a good example of it. Man United was a very good example. We went from creating loads of chances. We're never balanced, Chelsea. We're never in the middle of doing both. It's either we create quite a lot, but we just can't finish it, or we don't create nothing. That's the problem. It's not.
This is not about like it might seem that way.
Creativity is a problem because against certain teams, we are not creating enough in games.
Exactly. Imagine we are playing.
But statistically, we actually create quite a bit, right? It might not seem.
Not in all games.
No.
Not in all games. No, we don't. In certain games, yes. Not in every game.
Yeah.
All right. If you guys feel that way, look. But the evidence is still there. You want to create a lot, but we're not scoring a lot as well.
But the thing is,
there are two problems there.
I think you're missing the
thing is when you create a lot of chances for your strikers, yeah, you might say, okay, they miss the third chance. At least having a goal, just score one goal, at least it will be enough. The problem is create a lot of chances for the players to put the ball in the back of the net.
Well, that's the difference between us, because you guys want more chances created and I want more goals converted.
I want both.
They're both in the same problem.
Listen,
I want both.
Problem
I want both too, but I mean we're arguing from the same different side.
I think can I add one thing? So Dembele definitely brings creativity. Sterling doesn't bring goal conversion. So Sterling doesn't solve the second issue. What I don't want next season is people being frustrated again, saying, "Oh, we keep missing chances." Because I don't know. Because Dembele would definitely whip the ball across the 6-yard box. We've seen Sterling have some Werner-like misses. So maybe it would take.
I'm being honest with you, Vigo. You lot sound like you're stuck in the number 9 phase. You really do.
Because for me,
number 9 that we're having right now.
Because for me, it's not only about the number 9. Because for me, I give so much credit to Thomas Tuchel, because when Thomas Tuchel came to Chelsea, the whole structure was messed up. Lampard, when he bought players, he didn't even look at what system, because Lampard didn't know what system he was using. So he just looked for Havertz. Okay, when they come in, this coming. So when Tuchel came in, it was a mess. He came in, he's like, okay, the defense was very bad. Let me fix the defense. So he came, he fixed the defense. And then Chelsea was in a bad position in the league because we were with Lampard. So when Tuchel came, every team that was playing against Chelsea, we felt like, oh, he's a new manager, we can beat Chelsea. So we were kind of like, the team was attacking us. That's why when Tuchel first came in, we had more chances created because the team wanted to attack us. That's why we won Champions League. Because we were the underdog, we were underrated. No one knew how good Tuchel was tactically. Even I didn't know how good Tuchel was tactically. But he was very smart to know how to use Jorginho, how to use Rudiger, how to use Reece James, how to use Chilwell. He used that, and Kante. He used that, he won us a Champions League. Not with attackers, but with his tactics. Every game Tuchel won was tactically won. The next season, he wanted a DM. He wanted Hakimi because he knew that it would not be enough with what he has right now. But the board screwed him up. The board gave him Lukaku. That's it.
Why Tuchel wanted Hakimi? Because he wanted us to create a lot of chances. Because if you look at the right and the left wing back, they create a lot of chances on that kind of formation that Thomas Tuchel wanted to play. Yeah. So if your wing backs are creating chances, your forwards are creating chances, your midfielders are creating chances, then you have a lot of chances, then probably your striker can be able to pull at least a few of those chances on the back of the net.
But if you look at Man City, they play with possession. Because the thing about I like Sterling. I don't rate him that much, but I like him. But the thing with Man City, though,
we play possession as well.
Yeah, we do, but the thing with City, though, they always play in the overhaul. They always play, like, if you look at City, you only see 2 defenders and Rodri. Cancelo plays like a winger. The other guy, Walker, plays as a winger. So
Man City creates a lot of chances. That's why they could not be able to win the Champions League final. They just needed that striker to finish those chances. Man City created a lot of chances. So we need players that can create a lot of chances. Then we can.
You don't really need a striker. You need someone like a Gundogan, like a Bernardo. That's why City scores so much goal from the midfield.
Let's go to Boogie, man. Boogie, what you saying?
Yeah. Thanks for having me. But I will just speak quick and just leave it. I just disagree with a lot of stuff that have been said here. I don't think we need to create a lot of chance to score more goals. You just have to look at Tottenham. Son, he doesn't need that many of chances to score goals. You just have to look back when Conte win the league. We didn't need to create more chances to score goals. We just need player confident enough to take their chances if they need to score them. It's not Manchester City. That's the way they play. Pretty much all their front line, all the way to the midfield. Any of those players can create chances, and any of them can score goals. That's why when you have so many people that good create chances, you have a lot of misses also. Chelsea, we don't have that potentiality at this point. All we need to do is find players that are confident enough, that are calm enough in front of the goal, and put that ball in the back of the net. And
but you had one in Lukaku, though. Lukaku had one of the best conversion rates.
Raheem Sterling, just by his number, has experience to scoring goals in EPL. That's the only thing I care about. When it comes to his wages, like Declan was saying, that may create a problem. But, I mean, that's the job of Todd Boehly. Me, as a Chelsea fan, I only care about the person that knows how to score goals against EPL defenses. And Raheem Sterling is one of them. So I welcome him, and he has to come and help us with this whole thing. When it comes to Marina Granovskaia, I just want to say something quick about it. Marina and Roman a good partner. Like Roman doesn't care about the money coming out. Marina is like a wolf. Just when she need a player, she take it. Whatever money she has to play, if he has to pay for it, she doesn't care. The thing is, other Todd Boehly, it does not matter. It cannot work because Todd Boehly is looking more for the rentability of the player we're buying, and just it doesn't fit Marina's way of doing business. So she has to go. It's not about. It's nothing more than that. They both cannot work together. In my view, anyways, they both cannot work together. Marina has done a good job because anybody that say Marina has was a problem at Chelsea, you just have to look at our winning trophy during the 10 years where she was here, or during the 20. I'm not even sure anymore. We won more than 10 or something trophies. We won from the league, cup, all the way to. So that's pretty much a successful time she spent at Chelsea. So I'm happy that she's gone now because we Chelsea fans blame her for a lot. But time to just focus on Todd Boehly and see exactly what he is bringing to Chelsea. And I'm looking forward to criticize Todd Boehly and his group also if they're doing something wrong, right? So that's all I want to say. Thanks.
100%.
Cheers, big man. Nice thoughts, mate. Nice thoughts. Nice to hear you as well. I know you can't stay too long because you have to shoot, but I just want to make this very clear. Like, I feel we need a bit of both. I'm not the guy that thinks we need more goal scorers. I'm not the guy. I actually think we do need more goal scorers, but we need people that can also create more in different ways. That's what I'm saying. And the players that we brought in to do that don't do that. And that the part of the issue with it is the chemistry thing. Our chemistry stinks. Let's be serious. And this thing about Chelsea, I know what Boogeyman was saying about Conte and Son doesn't need a lot of chances and whatever, but you're comparing us to a team that, let's be serious, are a countering team in Spurs. That's the way they play. They're an attacking team. They play on the attack. They play into space very quickly. They're different to Chelsea. What Chelsea do is they're a ball possession team. They make it, we're a ball possession team, which means we have to have movement. Players have to make runs. Players have to drop deep. Players have to drag players out of the way. And these are all things that you need to have in a Tuchel system for it to be successful. At the moment, we don't have that. And what I'm saying with Raheem Sterling, and I'm not his biggest fan, I do think he misses chances. He does. The thing of he doesn't score goals. He does score goals because his scout puts are third highest in the Premier League history, which is there for everyone to see. But bringing him in doesn't, like Declared says, doesn't solve our issues in front of goal. What we should be doing is bringing him in and looking to bring in someone like a Dembele who can then provide the creation element as well with that, where you create more chances for someone like him. Because him coming with these lot that we currently have got at the moment, he's not going to change dramatically a lot, and that's the issue. We there's a couple of things that we need to address. It's not just the one thing, but it's not just the creative side of things. It is the goal scoring side of it. It's a bit of both for me. It needs the chemistry for it to work.
If you get both Sterling and Dembele, but where would Mount play then? Because that's the thing. Because if you look at Mount, for sure he's going to be starting with Tuchel because of his pressing ability. I believe Gallagher also has that pressing monster thing that Tuchel wants. So for me, if we get Sterling and Dembele, I would be happy because I feel like we could go like a changing formation where where we'll probably have 3 midfields, where we have 2 pressing monsters, which is Mount Kovacic or Mount Gallagher, and then 1 DM. Then it works with Sterling and Dembele because you have Mount and Gallagher who can kind of replace Sterling and Dembele. Because when Sterling and Dembele are very, very far forward, you need someone to press. Yeah.
Respectively, Dine, I don't care if Mount doesn't start if we get Sterling and Dembele in the team. Yeah, I wouldn't really care whether he starts or not. I think Mount is a young lad. I think we tended to put too much pressure on this kid. He should be in a position where he's allowed to have off days. He's allowed to develop in his own time. And I feel like at a point last season, all our creativity was going through him.
From him, yeah.
That was a real problem. That's probably why I know Jem put up that the game against Wolves. I remember vividly that game. It's one of the most horrible games. It was also foggy as well. Couldn't see the ball. One of the worst games I've seen last year. So I think if Dembele and Sterling come in, Mount can sit on a bench for a few games and can come in the old games. Because I don't believe Dembele will play 35 of the 38.
Yeah, because he needs to rotate because of the injuries and stuff. He needs to rotate.
But I think the player that we need is a player like a Mata. I don't know if those players exist anymore, but a player like that.
There's talks about Savić coming to Chelsea. He's another.
Savić is too big. He's too big. He's like 6'3".
Yeah, it's got nothing to do with that, is it? He creates. Doesn't he?
I just see him like a clumsy.
Can't start looking at people's sizes and going, they can't create. Come on, that's what he does. Oh, this is funny. I got to give. Go on, Star.
Yeah, I want to say about the situation that we are on, like now about the transfer window, and now the news came up for Marina Granovskaia and Postbak. I'm very happy that Marina Granovskaia and Postbak they're leaving, but Postbak will be the senior advisor, I think. I'm not so sure, so it's not very big problem for me. So, but the issue for me now, like because Todd Boehly is taking the control for the negotiation. So for the transfer window and being the chairman, so I'm a bit nervous to be honest because days are going fast and you don't know what will happen, and we don't want the situation that happens the same as in January, that the last day we buy players in the timeline. So hopefully we do something in this month to sign a player before second month. So I'm very happy and for the news today. And about the Sterling situation, I don't know. I'm fine with this player, but I see sometimes he lacked to score goal, like missed goals and stuff like that. But he is the best, other than our players like Timo and the wingers. So I'm not having problem with this player to come to the squad. But the situation, last year, the big issue for us, that sometimes we miss lack of scoring goals in front of the goalie, and maybe also creativity, as you guys said. But the issue is not about the player side, because sometimes when we saw Havertz in front of goal, he misses much of chances goals, and we get frustrated so much. I don't get it. It's a big issue for us to see a player misses goal and in front of goalie. So I don't know what you're gonna say, guys, about that, because not just Havertz, other players that they miss, like Pulisic and stuff like that. But today is a good news because for a long time we didn't seem like a good news, but today we have a lot of news happening out. So yeah.
Yeah, well, we just got this news here from Simon Phillips saying that a new name for centre back list is Aymeric Laporte. I've been told by 3 of my close sources that he's the name Chelsea have been considering. He's a defender who has been brought up in recent conversations. One of the 3 names apparently in the short list of players that Chelsea are looking at. I don't know.
Why are we helping out Man City every time? What is going on here?
I heard that.
Do we have to buy the players so that we can help them to balance the books, or what? I like them to find a way to sell their players.
Yeah, I don't know, guys. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. We'll keep an eye out on that one as well. How true that is, we'll have to wait and see if there's any more tier ones that come out with this as well. But I do need to shoot because I've got to go back to work. So big up to every single one of you guys that have
big
been
up
in the
everyone.
Big up.
Take care of yourselves. Enjoy the rest of your day, and hopefully we'll have a signing soon, eh?
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
See you later, guys. Take care. Peace out. Make sure you smash the like, subscribe as well. If you leave a comment below, and we'll be back again probably either tomorrow or Wednesday. So see you later.